This is My Passion Project by Caitlin Henning. When we first got asked to do a passion project, I was wondering what I should do it on. At first, I thought about space. I also thought about animals. I thought about other things that I liked too. I also thought about things I found very interesting. There was one thing that fit both categories, and that was art. So I started thinking about art a lot, and I mainly thought about my drawings. I started thinking about what types of colors I made my drawings. And I realized that I made my drawings different colors for a reason. And that reason was most often the emotions that I was trying to convey. And so I finally came up with the question of, why do different colors affect people's feelings and moods differently? But I didn't come up with this idea right away. It took a lot of thinking to get to that question. At first, my ideas were more like, what emotions match to what colors and why? But I found that question was easily searchable. I just thought and thought about my question for a really long time before I got to the question of, why do different colors affect people's feelings and moods differently? Now, I am going to show you some different colors, and I would like you to write down the very first emotion that you think of when I show you a certain color. By writing down your name and the emotions on the piece of paper in front of you. If there is a paper filled out already in front of you, take a new sheet of paper. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. Here is your first color. When you hear the bell chime, your next color will be on the screen. Feel free to pause if you feel like you need more time. How did your emotions change when you looked at different shades of different colors? Well, by now you'd probably be wondering, well, how do colors even connect to emotions at all? Well, to explain that, I first need to explain how the brain sees color. First, light from the sun reflects onto an object, any object. Then our eyes see the color through these things called cones. There are 3 different colored cones. The first senses the longest wave of color, red. Over 60% of our cones are red. The second set of cones sense the medium wavelength color, green. 30% of our cones are green. The third set of cones senses the short wavelength color blue. Less than 10% of our cones are blue. The rest of the colors are in between green, red, and blue, so that's why we can see all of the colors, and not just green, red, and blue. The cones send a message to our brain, telling the brain that we saw color. And the brain interprets that color using the signals from the cones. The brain signals hit our memory at some point, and then based on our memories linking to other events where we've seen that color, we come up with an emotion for that color. This is the process for determining an emotion for a color, but sometimes personal preference factors in as well. And that's how colors link to emotions. For further research in my passion project, I interviewed Miss McComb. Miss McComb has a thing called synesthesia, which means that two or more of her senses are connected, with color, or just connected. For her synesthesia is color and vision, so basically she can see the alphabet in colors. She said that color is very helpful in organization. She also said that the color of math, the subject that she teaches, is blue, just like the one shown above. She finds that when she has blue rooms while teaching math, her and her students are more engaged and relaxed during class. In her current math room, she has light yellow walls, which says disturbs her, and she finds that her students aren't usually as relaxed in her classroom as they were when she had blue walls. She says that her light yellow walls clash with the red doors of the middle school, which she finds stresses out students and makes them more angry. And it makes it harder for them to learn in an environment where they are stressed out and angry. She says that she would rather have her walls painted blue because that is the color of math in her head, and she finds that her students are more relaxed and more focused when working in a room with blue walls. This data is important to my passion project because it shows how people have used colors to try and affect others' emotions. But wait, I still haven't fully answered the question. I found out that people all view colors differently. I made a kind of survey in which I showed my classmates different colors, just like the colors I showed you earlier. They told me the first thing they thought of, and I wrote it down, and then compared all of them. And here are the results. Compare these answers to the answers you wrote down earlier when you looked at the colors. The most common emotion for red was anger, most common emotion for orange was happy, yellow was happy, green was nature, blue was relaxed, and purple was beauty and excitement. Pink was happy, white was blank, light red was dull, light orange was desert and warmth, light yellow was hungry, and light green was ocean. Light blue was sky, light purple was sad or gloomy, light pink was romantic, gray was dreary, dark red was anger, and dark orange was orange like as in the fruit. Dark yellow was hungry, dark green was happy, dark blue was ocean, dark purple was royalty, dark pink was caring or love, and black was dark. Notice how all of the responses were different, even though sometimes it was just a different shade of the same color? This is because everyone sees color differently. Different shades can cause different reactions if they're lighter colors, darker colors, or brighter colors. Everyone has had their own experiences with every color, and everyone's personal preference is different in some way. We are all reminded of different things when we see different colors, and that creates a different emotion for every person. Now when I go back and do my drawings, I make sure I pay extra attention to what emotion I'm trying to convey, and make sure that it matches up with the color that I feel conveys that emotion. I feel like I've learned a lot through this passion project about how emotions and colors really relate. Paul Gauguin, a famous painter, once said, "Color, what a deep and mysterious language, the language of dreams." And sometimes color really is the language of dreams. Everyone has their own color, their own dreams, and their own emotions to go with every color and dream.